Hello, I'm the official name reader. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're going to be looking at Grimer and Muck, and its Alolan counterparts. You know what? I'm actually halfway okay with Jabba the Muck. Like, do I think it's clever? Not really, but I think it's something I've never seen before, and Jabba the Hutt is kind of just like a gross-ass looking goopy motherfucker, so yeah, I feel like if you had to pick someone to base Jabba the Hutt off of, I think Muck is a better choice than Snorlax. Snorlax is at least cuddly. I'm okay with all this wordplay too. Like, I actually really like Optimus Grime. I think that's kind of clever, and it actually sounds kind of like a cleaning detergent or something like that. But Schmuck, I think in general is very basic, but I could also just see it just, appealing to somebody out there, so I'm completely fine with it, but I really like Optimus Grime at very least. Alright, we need to address this right now, because I know what you're thinking. Probably the same thing everybody's been making the same joke about for 20 years! We get it. Arbok backwards is Cobra, Snake backward, Ekans Snake, we get it. It's not funny! You're 13! Shut up! Now that my shouting is out of the way, Biohazard we've seen in a previous episode, and I think again that works as a good generic poison type nickname you could apply to anybody. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, we'll acknowledge this one, because I actually have written down Drainbow, but like Painbow and Stainbow follow the exact same thing, and I didn't realize how many clever or rhymey ways you could do with Rainbow. So, yes, there's lots of that for Alolan, Grimer, or Muck. I'm also gonna acknowledge, I guess, Pestilence. I don't particularly care for it, but this guy liked it, so maybe you like it too. Alright, no, I don't think this guy meant to, but I like the song Toxicity by System of a Down. Do I think it's the best name? Honestly, no, but I think it's passable. Like, I feel like it's only really good if you're trying to be like, yeah, that's a cool System of a Down song, then maybe that could work. But in other words, in general, I don't know how I feel about it as a nickname. So that's a half and half for me. D-Blob is one I've never seen before either, and I think that is okay. That's another video game out there, so I guess if you're a fan of that, I don't think you could reference a boy in his blob, but I guess, yeah, there you go. There's an idea that's different. Okay. Alright, so I gotta be real. This is probably the worst I've seen from Denny at all, because all of it is just different ways to say poop. But I actually kind of like Royal Flush, at very least. And, Pack of Fudge, I think is stupidly funny as well. But Jesus, man, too much poop jokes. Dial it back a bit. I don't know if this guy, like, when he did it in order in the same way that I'm doing, or if he's just picking random things and maybe he forgot. I don't know, I'm very confused how he does Biohazard for Nidoking, doesn't think it'll work for Nidoqueen, and then when he gets to Muck, he calls it Biohaz. This guy is like, he needs to be studied. Like, please, get a team of psychologists, put this guy in a room, see what makes him tick, because I don't think anything does. This guy is so confusing to me, because nothing he does or says makes any sense. The rest are kind of crap. Sticky Icky, I feel like it would sound better if it was Icky Sticky. I don't know, it's just me. I think flip it around, it sounds better, but as far as a nickname, it's still not one I would use. And then Boogeyman, that's actually okay. I'm okay with Boogeyman. However, I think you'd be better off using that for like a dark or a ghost type instead of Muck. But I do like the idea of Boogeyman, honestly. Okay, this one's for Alolan Muck. And I'm not gonna lie, the idea of toothpaste, it caught my attention. And I just think it's kind of funny. So I actually kind of like toothpaste. And then Rainbow Bright, that one's okay. Blarg. Actually, that's not bad, but I'm trying to think if there's some sort of amorphous fire-type blob that would work better. Because that's one I actually really like, just in general, as a name. But I don't know any fire blobs. That'll work. No, Slugma will not work. Okay, so we've reached the bottom, and now we're gonna scroll up and, prove that we clicked on everything first. And then we're gonna go ahead and change the word to Alola, just to see if anything changes and we can find anything different. Believe it or not, there isn't actually any links. I'm really curious about what this Amazon is, though. Hold on. It wasn't anything special. It was like a 3-inch figure. But, yeah, there's actually nothing from typing in Alolan Muck that's any different. And that legitimately surprises me. Because I've stumbled across quite a few that have been, like, different and unique, and I've written down. So it's like, oh, I've got a fair bit of suggestions from things that I've covered in, like, previous episodes where I've just, like, it'll be like a list of a whole bunch of crap, and I'm like, oh, let's write this down for the Muck episode. But before we get into that, the spreadsheet. They are all bad. Awesome. Why does it do that? Stop doing that. Anyway, so here's a bunch of things I have written down that, some are ones we covered. So, like, Biohazard was good. I like De Blob. I saw that twice, so somebody else thought of it, but, like, it's still pretty uncommon. Like was one I saw in a previous episode, and I was like, oh, that's good. Likes from the Zelda enemies. I think that is alright. I've talked about this a few times, both in Pidgeot and Machamp, where somebody did their team based off of Action League Now, and they named their Muck Meltman. And I really, really like that. And I feel like there's going to be very few Pokemon that could apply to better than Muck. Toothpaste was funny, and then as far as like Alolan stuff from like seeing it in other things, we've mentioned Drainbow, Painbow, Stainbow. I've seen Crayola, which isn't bad. We're playing off the colorful nature of Muck, and when you melt crayons, it's like that too. And then another one I've seen quite a few times was Clayface, and I like that as well. So there's actually quite a few good nicknames for Grimer and Muck, and it's kind of weird that we didn't stumble across quite a few of these. Anyway, the one I personally use, because I just think it's hilarious, and I've always thought it was hilarious ever since I was a child, is that there is a fight in the Cinnabar Gym of Pokemon Stadium against Nerd, and he named his Muck Unk. And just the literal phonetic pronunciation of that is just so stupid that I find it hilarious, because, there's only so many different letter combinations that you can do. So I think it's funny to watch Pokemon Stadium struggle to give Muck a nickname, so they just went with Unk. And that's the one I'd use. I think it's hilarious. I've always loved it, and it's always been like a little joke between me and my brother. But that's it. Provide your suggestions and ideas in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. I think Muck and Grimer actually has quite a few good ideas, despite some of the things we've seen. So, yeah,